Alright, hello. Welcome back to Cult of Elections. Today we're going to be going over if some crazy instance, which I don't believe is going to happen, for the record, a voter fraud happens and is found and is overturned or thrown away or signatures don't match, whatever the case is. If there was a tie in the presidency this year, 2020, what would happen? So things would need to go down. Georgia, Arizona, and Wisconsin would need to flip, which they are the closest margins out of states. 20,000 out of Wisconsin. I believe 10 or 11,000 out of Arizona. And 14,000 before the recounts get announced, which is when I'm recording this, in Georgia. So yeah, it's a pretty squeak by margin for Biden if you think of it in that regard, 3 states. And it's even less, I believe, than Trump's margin with the states that won in 2016, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania. I think it's even less than that. But the difference now is winning the squeak by states for Biden. Trump instead wins them. It brings it to a tie. And what happens? Well, I'm sure you might know a little bit about politics if you're watching this video, but if you don't, then the incoming House of Representatives votes on it, which are still a Democrat majority, which makes you wonder why a video even needs to be covered on this if the Democrats would obviously pick Joe Biden over Trump in the House, which is true. But here's the thing. Every single state gets one electoral vote. So we take California, for example. They have a Democrat majority in the House. They're not done counting all their districts, but they're going to end up with a majority there. And they get one vote. So you need to bring it to 26 votes. And I know some states are glitched on here. Like it still says Nebraska has 5, Maine has 4. It's because of their delegations here. So we're going to ignore these individual delegations. And also, D.C. doesn't get a vote in this case, as far as I know. So we're going to go through, I'm going to go alphabetical order here, because it'll be easier to look. So, okay, we'll start with Alabama. I mean, obviously, first vote for Trump there. I think it's a fairly gerrymandered state. It is solid Republican, but I mean, Republicans have 6 out of 7 of the House seats. Maybe not gerrymandered. Alaska trended more blue this time, but they ended up with a House. Remember, that is red, along with Senate and President. So that goes there. This is an interesting one. Arizona, 5 out of 9 are projected to go blue, which is enough for the majority. Now, if things are overturned, could it be red? Yeah, but we're going to go with things we know for certain now, because this is too crazy of a what-if scenario. Arkansas, all 4 are red. So nothing really to talk about there. I already went over California, blue. Colorado has 7 seats in the House. 4 belong to Democrats, so they squeak by with another one there. Connecticut, possibly another gerrymandered state, but it's so small. Maybe it's hard. All 5 of their districts go to Democrats. Delaware, small one. It has 1 House seat, and it's to a Democrat. Republicans won some seats in Florida. They have the majority there. Georgia is still, but barely, a Republican majority, and maybe a recount would flip things there, but right now they have 8. And Democrats have 6, so 1 more flip and they would have tied it. Hawaii, that should be pretty obvious. It's a Democrat one. Idaho, same thing. Illinois, a lot of Democrat seats here too. No surprise there. Indiana, a lot of Republican seats. So, I mean, I didn't exactly expect this to happen, but we're kind of at a dead heat so far, 7-7. Interested to see how this goes. Iowa, we actually don't fully know. But right now, in my opinion, it will go blue, causing it to be a tie. But because right now they have 2 confirmed, well, all but confirmed Republicans and 1 Democrat. But their last district is a dead heat right now. It's separated by 48 votes. And we know later votes should be mail-in ones, but I'm not entirely sure about this district. So we're going to say it's a toss-up. And I'm not sure what happens if they vote and there's a tie. But it could be whoever, won the state in general, which would make enough sense. But we'll go over that situation, after we fill out the map originally. Kansas has 3 Republicans and 1 Democrat coming in. So not surprising that that's going to be red. Kentucky, yeah, 5 Republicans and 1 Democrat. Louisiana is going to be Republican. Maine, even though the second congressional district voted for Trump, they put in a Democrat. So both their House seats are Democrats. It's interesting how that doesn't fill out properly. But we're going to continue on anyways. Maryland has 1 Republican. Sorry, didn't mean to click on that. 1 Republican in their entire delegation. Probably gerrymandered as well. And speaking of which, you could say the same about Massachusetts. Has 9 House seats, and all of them are Democrats. Not much to be said there. Michigan has 14 House seats, and 7 of them belong to Republicans. So that's another toss-up there to make things more interesting. So it's 10-10 with 2 toss-ups. That is pretty interesting. Minnesota has 8 House seats, and it is a tie there, actually. Wow, I didn't exactly expect that. Republicans did flip a seat, House seat 7 to be exact, and it was by a pretty comfortable margin. So that's also a toss-up. Mississippi, that should be no surprise. That's going to be red. 3-1 there. Missouri, that's no surprise either. Montana, Republicans held on to that at-large seat. Nebraska, we're going to go up here to delegate it because, yeah, I don't know what's up with the map down there. I don't want to mess it up. Nevada is 3-1 for Democrats, so they get Nevada, another key state. New Hampshire, both districts are for Democrats. Maybe if this was 2016 margins, Republicans would have had one there, but it's not. New Hampshire went way farther to the left than 2016. New Jersey, only 2 Republicans. That's no surprise. We can continue on here. New Mexico, it's 2-1. New York, not done counting, but when it's all said and done, we know it's going to end up like that. North Carolina has 5 of the 13 seats projected, at least, to go to Democrats. So 8 Republicans is enough to give Republicans the majority there. North Dakota at large, that's no surprise there. Ohio, not surprising either. Sort of a swingy-ish state, but not really at this point in time. So 4 out of their 16 House seats go to Democrats. That's not close by any means. Oklahoma, all 5 are Republicans. Oregon, it's 4-1 for Democrats. Pennsylvania, sorry, I need to count this year. 7, so 9 out of the 18 for Republicans, meaning it's another toss-up here. This is getting really interesting with all these toss-ups. Rhode Island, Democrat. Both of their House seats are going to Democrats. South Carolina, Republican. South Dakota at large is Republican as well. Tennessee, another obvious Republican. And with this here, Republicans are pretty close to at least getting a tie in this. And it looks like they're going to take it anyways. Spoiler alert. I'm pretty sure they are. Texas, it's a huge mix here, but Republicans still have more there. Utah, all 4 Republicans. One of them was just called Vermont at large. Democrat. Virginia, only 4 of the 11 belong to Republicans. Maybe if this is a different year, that'd be different, but it's not. So Democrats creeping up back. Washington, the same thing. It's a fair mix here, but still Democrats there. And here we go. West Virginia is all 3 Republican. Wisconsin, and here's pretty much the dagger. Wisconsin, enough to tie. And considering the states left, you know where this is going to go. Oh, sorry, Nebraska was already called. Considering one of the states left, the only state left, I should say, you know where this is going. And Wyoming at large district by over 40 points at this point in time, Republican, which is enough to secure Trump the presidency. Even with these toss-up states. So we could say the toss-up states belong to the ones that won the election there. So you could even throw this in there. Boom, boom, boom. It's 27 to 23. However, I don't think that's written in the Constitution. So we throw those out. It's still 26. Pretty undisputed. Even, I mean, Iowa. It could be like that when it's all said and done. But right now, in my opinion, it's going to stay like, tied there, 2-2. So you could ask what happens in the vice president race. Well, it's the Senate that decides it, and right now we don't know what's going to happen in Georgia at this point in time. But Republicans will secure 50 in the Senate, and assuming all 50 would vote for Pence over Harris. And that's assuming. I mean, I know there's some interesting cards in there. Pence would break the own tie, and I think you can be fairly certain that he would vote for himself. Maybe I'm wrong. Probably not, though. I'm pretty sure he would vote for himself. But there you have it. If Trump brought the margin somehow, some way, which again, I don't think it's going to happen. But you really never know. This election season's been wild. And it's crazy that it's still not even over. In Trump's regard. So there you have it. Trump ties the election, meaning he would win the presidency. And Pence would be vice president. Like, that's pretty undisputed. But there you have it. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Be sure to leave a comment if you think I'm crazy, even though this is real numbers. This isn't even like predictions. But yeah. Complain about the Electoral College. Complain about this. This is kind of odd. I'm not going to lie. But it is how it's written. So yeah, let me know how you feel. Peace.